Yo, we're at day 27 of the YouTube challenge. Man, we're getting very close to the end. And if you're just following along now, I've been going for the last 26 days. And the purpose is to simply turn up each day, get better at talking in front of a camera, bring more confidence forward and bring more energy forward, because the idea is to be able to connect with you more and to be able to connect more on the internet, and to really make it through the camera so that people can actually feel it, that you can feel what I'm saying. Because without feeling it doesn't really make any sense as to why we do anything. If we do something without the intention to actually take it forth and really have that conviction to do the thing, then we're not really doing it properly. And so this whole thing around conviction that's been coming through for me around where I'm feeling apologetic for certain things and where I'm just owning shit, and where I'm owning where I'm at and owning being open, simply being open and sharing. There was something that came through over the last couple of days. This was around if we share with someone and we share an idea with someone and we're not feeling open, let's say, maybe we're feeling a little bit not enough and we're kind of wanting validation. If we want validation when we do the thing, when we speak the thing up, quite often what can happen is we end up being somewhat unrecognized. We don't feel seen. And we create this ourselves. We create this by turning up in the world as what we think other people want us to be, how you think other people want you to be. And this is a somewhat apologetic space. We go, oh, I'm going to turn up as part of me instead of all of me. And this whole, the difference between part of me and all of me is that all of me is unapologetic. It's like, this is me and I would like to gift this to you. I would like to present this to you. And if you don't like it and if you don't resonate with it, then perfect. And if you do, then perfect. And this whole journey that I've been going through over the last week, been doing a lot of these reconciliation processes where we go back and work out all of the times that we've projected hate upon the world and what that really is a product of. That hate is just a hidden shame that we have. It's a secret, something that we've tried to hide from the world, and it ends up cycling around in our heads, and eventually it becomes hate, projected hate. And so one of the patterns that I realized I was playing was I would approach a situation where this afternoon I had an idea for a workshop. There was a title that I'd had come up this morning. This afternoon I shared it with a friend of mine, and I had this energy when I was telling him about it that I wanted him to validate me. And when I wanted him to validate me, what happened was he gave me a bunch of suggestions instead of validating. And I got the one thing that I was fearing, which was not being recognized. And it may seem complex, and it's like this wound, this thing that plays out over and over and over and over and over again it's so prevalent in all of our lives. Not this one specifically for you. There will be your own flavor that you'll have with this that you relate to. Something that repeats all of the time. And so mine within this was that every time I would seek to connect with people, I would disconnect from myself. And this basically ends up me playing out the same wound over and over and over again. And I never get what I want because I'm looking for validation of what I want. And I'm looking for someone to really affirm to me that what I want is okay. And whilst I'm seeking validation, I'm also not living out my true gifts. I'm not living out my soul's purpose. Because anyone who does their soul's purpose and lives that out with no apology and just simply says, this is me, this is the thing that I'm doing, and If people resonate with it, they do. And if they don't, then they don't. And that's okay. And so what I'm integrating since this week is that. It's really that, and embracing my sides of, okay, this is what came in with this core wound. This core wound was when I'd seek out connection, I would be yearning for validation. And what I feared in the moment was not being recognized. And so what I would do is I would go into certain situations and I would approach people and I would talk with people with this, I'll say that the word raping energy, because raping energy is the energy that seeks to connect via taking. And so I use the word because it's got more of a charge to it. There is this whole, when I've approached this in life in this way, what's happened is I've been trying to hook into people and trying to be all, I would basically hit them with confusion. Say I was uncertain about something and I would be uncertain so that I could confirm my own thing. And then I go, oh, I need your validation. I need you to pump me up. I need you to give me your energy. And this was never really, let's say, it didn't appear to be helping me, because every interaction I would have would seem like it was like I would disconnect from myself. The reconciliation process was about actually reclaiming that and saying, this happened, and because of this happening, I was able to reclaim this. I was able to reclaim the things about my past that I did because of that situation. Don't know if this is making any sense. Part of me collecting my thoughts, so we'll let it be. And yeah, it's a real big thing, because when we go to approach this social media space, it's important to look at where we're coming from when we're doing it, and in life. Because if the way that we're approaching things is from this space where we want or need validation from someone in order to feel complete, this may be why your YouTube channel is not building, why you're not feeling complete or actually fulfilled in your mission, in whatever you're doing in your business. Because the whole purpose of this thing is, how can we give more value? How can we give more, and not from a place of scarcity or needing that validation? Because, right, we can give more from a place of scarcity and not having enough. Or we can give more from a place of like, cool, all right, what's my core wound? My core wound is when I connect, I disconnect. So I'm gonna go, cool, I'm gonna stay connected to myself when I deliver it. And I'm gonna aim to give that gift when I speak. And when I'm speaking, I'm going to keep that space open. I'm going to aim to deliver it so it actually lands. And so that people on the other end, so you guys, can receive that. And now I know this is coming from kind of energetic places and maybe a little bit more in the energetic realm. And it's all kind of, it's all part of it. It all ties in with one another. The simple version is simply like neediness. If you're coming from a needy place, if you need something from someone when you do something, that's the energy that it's carrying. And so that is not really the best way to approach any business or any endeavor that we're going on. Interesting one. Have you ever gone to, let's say, you've learned a trick, you've learned a skill of some sort, and you want to show it to someone. You want to show this trick to someone, and you've been doing it well. It could be an ollie on a skateboard, or it could be, I don't know, doing a flip, or whatever the thing may be, something you're proud of. And you go to tell someone that you care about, your mom, your dad, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a partner. You go to tell them, hey, watch this. And as you go to do it, what happens is you become aware of them. And then you go to do the thing and you fuck it up. And in that moment, you recognize that you're not as good at the thing as you thought you were. That's what you see. And what you don't see is that you were focused on the other person more than you were focused on the thing that you were showing them. And so that's why you fuck it up. And so tying this all in with the validation, it's like, yeah, in that moment, you're looking for validation from that person. You're looking to impress them and hope that that person sees you doing something cool and they can validate you. They can give you love. They can see you. They can make you feel heard. Make you feel good enough. Because why do we need to prove things to people anyways? It's coming from a not good enough space. Most of the time. Otherwise, we're not proving it. We can simply turn up. This is a fine balance. It's a bit of a balance beam because we can easily swing from one side to the other. And this whole thing around like good enough or not good enough, it's a pendulum. It swings. It's a polarity. Good enough, not good enough. Or actually, too much, not good enough. And then somewhere in the middle is good enough, which is still on the swing. And so to go above that is to really reconcile both sides of it and see the perfection in it. Whilst we're busy playing the game of good enough or not good enough or too much, we're ignoring our essence, which is simply being, which is, hey, this is me. This is my thing. This is my expression. Take it or leave it. I would like it if you liked it, and if you don't, great. And it's like, would you rather be criticized for something that was you, or would you rather be accepted for something that is not fully you? And so when we aim to people please and do things for people, we tend to ignore who we are. In those moments, even you may have had a feeling of who you were before it, and then you go to speak to someone and disconnect from yourself. If it relates with you, what happens for me. And so, yeah, this big practice on YouTube has been simply that. It's like, I noticed myself ebbing and flowing between this. Like as I was talking before, I could notice that I was kind of closing up and I was going to that, oh, I hope what I'm saying is valuable. And then I can open back up again. Because these things, it's something to practice. And truthfully, the times that I feel best in myself are the times when I'm actually sinking within myself. I'm not concerned with anyone else validating what I'm doing. It seems like a wild concept at times. Like I thought about this for the first few videos. I was like, oh, I probably can't drink water while I'm doing this video. It's like, who's making the fucking rules? It's like, oh, I've got to stay in front of the camera and stay still for the entire time. And it doesn't, it's like me setting parameters on myself. And so like, what are your parameters? What are the things that you set for yourself that are kind of like, maybe they're your own prison? It's like, why would I deny myself drinking water while I'm sitting here doing a YouTube video? It's like, I'm here being real, so there's no point in actually dropping it. And yeah, so validation. Do you think the people that are sitting, let's say, who've made big impact in the world, if they were sitting there worrying about what people thought of them, do you think they would have done anything with their lives? They'd still be sitting at home. And maybe they would have done it. And maybe some people do it from that way. They do it from this validation place. And then the trap there is that no amount of validation is good enough. It can never be good enough. However the form of validation shows up, if it's in money, if it's in people, if it's in attention from people, if it's whatever the thing may be. It could be awards, it could be views on YouTube, likes, comments, people validating. Like, you can validate me on the comments section if you want. And frankly, it's like, it's not really necessary. It's only necessary if it feels like a natural thing from you, that you personally want to do it. And this is the thing, I've been wondering this around people doing things like subscriptions and queuing those things. And it kind of is like it's an interesting prompt. Like, if you are enjoying these videos, subscribe to the channel. That's the kind of thing that I'm looking at, like how to do that from a non-desperate place as well. And it's kind of like, cool, I'm going to keep giving value on here. And if you'd like to see more of it, then tune in. That's great. And if you don't, then great. And yeah, really feeling into that as when I tried doing it in the past, it felt needy, and it felt like I was like, oh, I need more followers, I need more subscribers, I need more likes, I need more validation. So I end up craving the validation. And so, yeah. And maybe the reason that I've spoken with a few people in the comments who haven't started their channels that want to do it. They want to start speaking. It's like, yeah, why haven't you? Is it because of the validation? Maybe you fear that you won't get the validation if you do it. And the key here is self-validation, is going, you know what, I'm going to do the thing and set the parameters. Really set the parameters of like what you expect of yourself and what to expect of the audience. And I'm sure there's much more for me to learn. There is definitely a lot for me to learn. Because I'm a baby at this whole YouTube space. And it feels humble to say that. Because I guess when I'm sitting in front of the camera, I can start feeling confident and all of that, and be confident within my own space and go, okay, how could I optimize? How could I increase the amount of views that I get? How can I improve the titles? How can I improve all these things to really represent what I do? And again, coming from the place of me expressing myself, not because it's going to get more clicks, but because it actually summarizes what I do in a better way. That's cool. Oh, I like that. Yeah, so when I come from the place, when I deliver things in the way that makes most sense to me, then I can validate myself. And then it's a clean transaction. So when I'm sharing it with people, it's like, cool, this is it. This is the thing. And it's not gross or sticky or trying to hook in with validation. Now there's a difference with attention because, yeah, there's a big difference with attention because we can play at attention. We can play with it a lot. This is what the whole thing of entertainment is. This is the whole purpose of doing these videos, is to be used to being, having attention on me, and to know that however many people watch the videos. Like, some of them have got 800 views and some of them have 3 views, and it's all perfect. It's all exactly as it needs to be. Couldn't be any other way. And this has been quite a rant today. This is me being me, and I really like it. It's really, it's a lot easier. You'll notice a difference between yesterday's video. I was pretty under the weather. And the day before that, I think I was mid-process. And even now, I'm still like gathering up the stuff that's happened in the last 6 days at this workshop. It's all still integrating into my body. And I had crazy fever last night that I don't normally get. Like, I haven't had one of them for a long time. It was like big, like really like a migraine, full migraine headache. And from about 8 o'clock till about 1 or 2 in the morning, it was just excruciating. And at the same time, I kept getting ideas for workshops, for business, and all of that sort of stuff were landing. Such a weird combination. Felt like it was a big, big journey. It was like a plant medicine journey, but my body was creating it. Kind of what these fevers tend to be. And it's still kind of traveling in my body right now. And I don't know if you can tell, but I spent a lot of time in the sun today. My face is rather red and burnt. It is all okay. And so, yeah, it feels cool to just be real on here as well. And yeah, with this whole topic of validation, like imagine what your life would be like if you weren't trying to get validation from people at all, if that wasn't a thing. It feels like part of the human challenge. The challenge of being human and being in this game is like working with these things and being able to discern and to be able to focus on what it is that makes us unique. Because the way that I express my core wound, which being the connection thing, is going to be different to the way that you express it. And the reason we were talking about this yesterday at the workshop is when we're going on an endeavor, there is a certain, like a motto that will carry through everything that we do. And the one that came up for me was, I'm a truly connected leader. And this is an identity for me to step into, because everything that I've been doing in my life has been to do with connection. It's about trying to get connection. It's about being disconnected. But every time it's like it's been this push and pull of connection. And it's been me learning how to connect with people and connect with people from an open space that is giving and not raping, not trying to take. And so that's been my challenge. And so I've created all sorts of things within my own experience to be able to pass on to you and pass on to people that also struggle with the same thing. If you've come onto this channel because you're looking at being a leader. You're looking at being some form of leader, because a leader is someone who leads. If you're creating the YouTube channel, that is you. Like, are you a leader? Are you a connected leader? Are you a truly connected leader? On all forms. Like, are you connected with yourself? Are you connected with your audience? Are you connected with the camera that's sitting in front of you? And are you willing to connect to those things, to truly connect and not disconnect from them when you do? Because what happens when people stand in front of the camera is they go to connect, and what happens is they disconnect from themselves in order to speak. It's a common occurrence, like so common, because when your nervous system goes into this fight or flight response, like it can go into fight or flight, or go into like a freeze or fawn response. And this is where the mind starts kicking in and starts creating all of these stories and starts running all sorts of narratives that says I'm not good enough, or I'm too much, or I'm this. And it does this as a defense mechanism because ultimately the nervous system can't handle it. And so this is where your nervous system is really important. Like if you're drinking 5 coffees a day, maybe you can do it. You're going to be dissociated most likely. You're most likely just going to be going on a rant and not actually being aware of where you are, not what's going on inside of you. And I keep saying this same phrase because most people don't do it. Most people don't bring awareness to how they feel. And I don't care whether you're a guy. Men aren't meant to feel things. Bullshit. Men feel things. You feel things in your body. I realize most of the viewers on here are male. So it's like, yes, you have the capacity to feel stuff, and it is okay. It's normal. It's not about expressing emotions. It's not about crying all the time. It's about going, am I aware of what is going on inside of my body at this moment? Because if you're not, what happens? You'd be projecting shit out into the world. You'd be throwing hate at people, you'd be eating. Maybe you're dissociating on your phone. Hey, put my hand up for that one. Maybe you are escaping by chasing food. Maybe you're chasing women. Maybe you're chasing validation. Like, all of these are dissociation mechanisms, and they're things that we use, like watching Netflix for hours on end. We can watch it and be somewhat connected for a short period of time. Mostly we kind of become dissociated, and that's okay if we intend for it to be that way. But when you consider that a lot of people live most of their lives being dissociated, trying to avoid the thing that's actually going on, which is the fact that you're avoiding what's going on inside of your body, then we're kind of just living a lie. We're living this, running this rat loop. What do you call it? A hamster wheel. And running the hamster wheel of life and just repeating the same things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And this thing called if you've ever played any games, there's a concept known as NPCs, and it's non-player characters. And non-player characters are what happen when you ignore your soul's gifts and you ignore your soul's path, and you start becoming a parrot. You start repeating yourself over and over and over and over and over again, and you have no new thoughts. You have no new thoughts or concepts. So it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. Most people who are making some form of impact in the world are aware of what they're doing. They're looking to refine themselves. For example, myself, I'm turning up on YouTube here, and the idea is to keep refining what I'm doing, refining how I turn up, refining how I speak, refining how much energy I give and how much I actually put forth when I speak, because I've got an infinite flow of energy. And a lot of the time people will choose not to give energy and give as much because they perceive that they don't have enough of it, which is also bullshit. It's because you're blocking it off. You're choosing to not have enough because that's possibly a core wound, and that's okay. It's also your greatest gift if you choose to unwrap it. And so, I've enjoyed this video. This one's been cool. I'll express one more thing. This workshop that I'm holding, it's going to be me expressing thoughts and pondering. I came up with the idea last night, and it came in whilst I was going through all of this. I was going through this experience of having a fever and all of this shit. And I had this idea drop in for a workshop, and I've been running a couple of workshops where I do basically have everyone create their own sound bath. And if you know what a sound bath is, it's where normally it's like you have like crystal bowls and flutes, and you end up immersing yourself in a bath of sound. And what I've created is a workshop where people create their own sound bath by their voices being the bath. And so everyone feeds off each other's voice. This isn't about singing in key. This is about singing a sound that comes from them, a sound that expresses them. And there's a process to get to this. And I was like, the idea this morning was, I'm going to call it, the idea was electrifying the human sound bath experience. And when I said this, I felt so excited. I was like so excited about it. And then what I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I second guessed myself. I started doubting myself, thinking, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm not going to live up to what that hype is. What if someone misinterprets it? And so all of these thoughts come in. And now all the while, I've just had this really cool idea, and I'm like, this is fucking sick. And I go and beat it down. And by beating it down, I invalidate it. I actually invalidate myself. I give myself the thing that I was fearing within the connection to myself. And so this is where you can look at for yourself. If you're invalidating yourself through thought, where are you approaching your own subconscious or your own conscious mind and asking yourself, hey, if you're asking, is it good enough? If you're asking, is it good enough? You're probably not coming from the right place. It's got nothing to do with good enough. Is this the expression of me? Is this what I am to bring into the world? Is this true? Is this real? And if it's true, then do it. That's me out for today. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments. Subscribe if you enjoyed it. If you'd like to hear more videos, I'm going to be doing more stuff, obviously, for the remainder of the 30 days. And after this, I'm going to be doing more tailored content. So if you'd like me to cover a topic or something that has piqued your interest or something that I've just brushed over, I'd love to go into it more. And yeah, till tomorrow, day 28 tomorrow. See you later, guys.